So I'm thinking we'll do this one. I have just clicked to keep the
Patrico
22
says,
streak here.
So what's the protocol today? HTTPS SFTP TLS. Tyrone Slux says.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems like... But now I'm curious. We did these, right? So, what's the difference in this room? Oh, yeah, this is just a list of the old room. That's why. Yeah, so we updated VMware. So it's updated. And tell me if it's like too dark
Patrico
or
says,
whatever.
I think more secure one. Maybe.
I'm scrolling up. Oh, yeah, these are the basic ones, old ones. So, my Kali VM is booting there too if we need it. My god, it's so warm in here, and I have my door open, but it's warm. I'm sure it was more than 30 tonight in this room. I guess I'll start reading. Servers. Let's move this a bit here. Servers implementing these protocols are subject to different kinds of attacks. To name a few, consider sniffing attack, network packet capture, man-in-the-middle, MITM attack, password attack, authentication attack, vulnerabilities. From a secure perspective, we always need to think about what we aim to protect. Consider the security triad. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability. CIA. Confidentiality refers to keeping the contents of the communications. I think actually I have lowered the size of this. I'll make it bigger again. I think this should be more readable. Right, should I move chat? I guess it's okay, right? You don't need to see the whole text.
22,
you can go to
20
the page.
degrees Celsius in Hudding.
Oh, okay, because let's see what I have. I think my car was 30 degrees when I went from the parking lot. We were definitely above 25 degrees on the... I think it's like 25, 26 outside, at least, so it's warm. I do actually have a... Let's see, what does this say? Oh, just a sec.
Tyrone Slux says,
It's cooler here today, been raining most of the day, good for my new glass though.
Patrico says, in the shadow side of the house.
Oh, the battery's out in my temperature meter outside the window. So I have this cord going through the window, or, it's tiny so you can close the window anyway. But the battery was out, so I couldn't see. But it's usually kind of hot on the roof out here. So, yeah, there's a bit of a roof, and then there's this window that I have here. And then there's the other roof. So, out on the black roof, it's kind of warm. And it's all like reflected in here. I guess it's not black roof. I guess it's like reddish, that kind of thing. Anyway, it's warm. And our attic is always like, in the winter you can't go up because it's freezing, and in the summer you can't go up because it's boiling hot instead. So I would like to really go through and throw out old stuff that we have, and when will I ever
Tyrone
do that?
Slux says,
Spring is the best time.
Yeah, but we didn't have any spring this year. We just went straight to summer. Like, 3 days ago it became this weather, and before that we had like snow sometimes. It was a crazy spring this time, I think. Yeah.
Summer has left us here in the UK. It's back to rain.
Isn't rain summer in the UK? I lived in Ireland. I think it was like raining
Ha
almost every day.
Translated from Tagalog.
So I guess I should continue reading. I just thought it was a bit tiny text. We can make it even one more up there. So it's, I don't want to have to, I hate it when people have tiny text so you can't read it. I would prefer to be able to read it even off a phone, you know. That's how I want it.
Yeah, I suppose you could move the chat to under your arm controls.
Alright, you're touching it here, you know. So, if you want to catch it. You could go back, like...
Yeah, I tried to pick him up, but I mean move the chat overlay. So it's not covering your website.
Yeah, so I would
Fix
kind
It
of
says,
usually have this
B?
full screen, right? But still. I can move it simply. I just don't want to put it here instead, because that would be bad too, right? I don't want to put it in the middle. I don't even have a set option for that. So maybe I should have like the camera and just this chat in another place. So let's see if we move chat. So where is chat? I'll have to go to studio mode and move it in my cameras and stuff here. So where is chat? It should probably be called chat there. And unlock it. And like move it over to this side. Can you do bigger jumps? So something like this. Is this okay? It's very tiny for me now. I could, let's see if I preview this to my other screen. To this one? No, that's itself. That's no good. There. So now it's just on top of the fix it there. So if I preview this one instead, let's close, preview.
Tyrone Sluck says,
There.
Oh no, poor Ghosty.
Oh, you'll have to fix him here again. Here, he's here. I'll put him like this. So you might be harder even. I don't know. I just had him here on my desk. I thought it could be a nice thing to try and pick up. It was just random. It's closed to now, so you'll have to open it again. You're going to make him fall again. Oh, what a technique! Then you need to go back a bit too. Oh no, can this help? You see in 3D when I'm just... Hello. I'm too intrigued to see anything. Let's... Well... Oh, you can still catch it in the arm. If you close now, you might be able to catch it in the arm. Should I just remove this one now? Woohoo! You're lifting it. You're lifting it.
Yay.
Yay. And I think it kind of resets when it's too heavy. That's odd, you know? Because I know there's no code for that.
Yeah, it seems to do that.
There's no code for that. I'm kinda sure. I don't think there's even anything sensing anything in these. You know, there's no feedback. There's no input from them. It's just output. It would have to do with power then. So, well, okay. I'm putting in here in case anyone want to try again.
Could it be in the library, sensing the power drawer?
Yeah, I guess so. I read some of it, but I didn't read all of it. But it's the complex stuff is mostly with the timer interrupts. So I don't think I don't think so. It's just the library is just doing no, we can't. It's just sending information. So, but I'll have to read it and check. It could just be some odd time thing too, because now it's running on the old code, which does the attach every loop, right? So, because the one we changed stopped working and I don't have time to look at it, so I just uploaded the old one. So we can quickly look. Here, let's see.
Where are the servos getting their power? Could the Arduino be resetting because of the power drawer of the stalling servos?
Yeah, that's what I meant with it. It has to be the power. That it has to somehow get too little power, and it's just connected to my computer, you know. So it doesn't have any real power.
Yeah.
So we can connect it to its own power instead of the computer. Because we're still not using, you know, right now we're not using the connection to the computer for anything. Just if we wanted to update the code. So let's just go up here. You see, every loop it does the attach again now.
It's a great arm though, and controlling it from chat is cool.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool. So I'll just have to take the time to fix it. We'll have to fix it. So I'm thinking I'll do the room now. Do you think we should turn the robot off? Maybe it's better to just have a full screen of this. We can do this and we'll see. I'll start from here. So, from security perspective, we always need, but I'm kind of like, I did pull up my curtain, so I have bright light in my eyes. I think I'll pull it down again. So, I should put something there, so I don't have to covered the whole window. That's the side part of this, that I have this curtain pulled down when I stream. Because it's so bright outside now. So let's, if I do this, oh well, this shouldn't, I'll just have to get used to it. I'll have to get used to it. We can do it even bigger too. So from a security perspective, we need to think about what we aim to protect. Consider the security triad: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. CIA. Confidentiality refers to keeping the contents of the communications accessible to the intended parties. Integrity is the idea of assuring that any data sent is accurate, consistent, and complete when reaching its destination. Finally, availability refers to being able to access the service when we need it. Different parties will put varying emphasis on these three. For instance, confidentiality would be the highest priority for an intelligence agency. Online banking will put the most emphasis on the integrity of transactions. Availability is often the highest importance for a platform making money on serving ads, or just people generally, right? Knowing that we are protecting the confidentiality, integrity, and availability. CIA again. An attack aims to cause disclosure, alteration, and destruction. Dad. The figures below reflect this, and I believe there are text here, right? It's just not we can't see it. So these attacks directly affect the security of the system. For instance, network packet capture violates confidentiality and leads to the disclosure of information. A successful password attack can also lead to disclosure. On the other hand, a man-in-the-middle MTM attack breaks the system's integrity as it can alter the communicated data. We will focus on these three attacks in this room, as these attacks are integral to the protocol design and server implementation. Vulnerabilities are of a broader spectrum, and exploited vulnerabilities have different impacts on the target systems. For example, exploiting a denial of service DOS vulnerability can affect the system availability, while exploiting a RCE remote code execution vulnerability can lead to more severe damage. It's important to note that the vulnerability in itself creates a risk. Damage can occur only when a vulnerability is exploited. We don't cover vulnerabilities in this room, as they have their own module, Vulnerability Research. This role will focus on the protocol can be upgraded or replaced to protect against disclosure and alteration, i.e. protecting the confidentiality and integrity of the transmitted data. We will be recommending other modules that cover additional topics. Moreover, we introduce Hydra to find weak passwords. So I think I kind of was thinking of other stuff at the end here, so I better check it again. Okay, yeah. So we suggest that you start the attack box and the virtual machine. So you can connect to different services on Telnet or Netgear for better practice and learning experience. So let's do that. So it's kind of odd not to go full screen. What do you think? Should I turn it off, the robot, or should it be there? We can make it tinier. So let's see. If someone starts moving it, I can, Should we make like a redeem? Play with the robot redeem. Huh? Let's do that quickly. It's not won't take long. So platform, channel point, add, play with the robot arm. So I don't care if it's one. Well, I guess so. Right, there are groups too. Can you do that now if you want to? Yeah, it's there, right? So I'm going to I could make a special scene, but let's just let's actually use the app. I'll do it so you can see it. From this app, I can close the phone. That's why we clicked here before. So I'm closing the phone app, meaning it won't drain the battery anymore. There. So that's there. So in case someone wants it, we will just pop it up. And we can use the full screen. And I'm moving them back to the normal location. So we can use all of the space of the screens. There. Sorry. I'm always tired, someone said, and yeah, I guess I should sleep more, but it's a bit annoying to have the lights, you know. I have the lights on and they're kind of bright. Though I kind of get used to it, but sometimes it still feels a bit, I don't know, if you get tired from the lights. So the first one, sniffing attack. Sniffing attack refers to using a network packet capture tool to collect information about a target. When a protocol communicates in clear text, the data exchange can be captured by a third party to analyze. A simple network packet capture can reveal information such as the context of private messages and logon credentials. It's the same. It's the data. If the data isn't encrypted in transit, shouldn't I read today? A sniffing attack can be conducted using an Ethernet network card, provided that the user has proper permissions, root permissions on Linux, and administrator permission on Windows. There are many programs available to capture network packets. We consider the following. TCP dump is a free open source command line interface program, CLI, that has been CLI always make me like, I don't know why. It's like the default. Why does it even have a name? That kind of thing. But of course it has. That has been ported to work on many operating systems. Wireshark is a free open source graphical user interface GUI program available for several operating systems, including Linux, macOS, and MS Windows. T-Shark is a CLI alternative to Wireshark. So, I think I haven't used TCP dump, and tiny of the T-Shark maybe, like in a room only. And I haven't used Wireshark a lot, not much, but I've used it several times at least. There are several specialized tools for capturing password and even complete messages. However, this can still be achieved by TCP-dump and Wireshark with some added effort. Consider a user checking his email messages using POP3. First, we're going to use TCP-dump to attempt to capture the username and password. In the terminal output below, we used the command sudo tcpdump port 110A. Before explaining this command, we should mention that this attack requires access to network traffic, for example, via a wiretap or a switch with port mirroring. Alternatively, we can access the traffic exchange if we launch a successful man-in-the-middle attack. We need sudo as packet capture require root privileges. We wanted to limit the number of captured and displayed package to those exchanged with a POP3 server. We know that POP3 uses port 110, so we filtered our packets using port 110. Finally, we wanted to display the contents of the captured packets in ASCII format, so we added A. Okay, so this just means ASCII format here, and port is kind of obvious. Okay, so let's see what. So there, I guess there's something in before here. User Frank.
I've used FIMP a lot to find who is attacking a web server.
Oh, cool. Cool. I feel like more comfortable using command line tools, as long as it's not data that's better displayed in graphics, you know. But I kind of feel like Wireshark is not the best, maybe, way to show it, but maybe it is better, I don't know. Oh my. Oh.
Same. I'll always use Cly if I can.
Yeah, because it's like faster somehow. Easier, maybe. So I'd like to know more about TCP-dump, and also I don't remember much about T-Shark either. Well, I suppose
I
there
feel
will
it's
be
more
examples.
hands-on, which I like.
Yeah, exactly. Agree. So here we can see the user Frank, and then password required, and then pass. And I remember these from the last room, it's the same password and username. In the terminal output above, we have removed the unimportant packages to help you better focus on the ones that matter. In particular, the username and password we each sent in their own packet. The first packet explicitly displays user Frank, while the last packet reveals the password. We could also use Wireshark to achieve the same results. In the Wireshark window below, we can see that we have entered POP in the field. Yeah, so there, just want to see the POP information or the packages. Now that we've filtered just the traffic we're interested in, we can see username and password captured. Yeah, that's very, very short and easy, right? In brief, any protocol that uses clear text communication is susceptible to this kind of attack. The only requirement for this attack to succeed is to have access to a system between the two communicating systems. This attack requires attention. The mitigation lies in adding an encryption layer on top of the network protocol. In particular, Transport Layer Security (TLS) has been added to HTTP, FTP, SMTP, POP3, and IMAP, and many others. For remote access, Telnet can be replaced by the secure alternative Secure Shell SSH. If you would like to learn more about Wireshark, yeah, I think I started this one, but what I want to do is to learn more about TCP dump. I don't want to learn more about Wireshark. So I guess we'll have to look into TCP dump ourselves, because this doesn't do it. It just mentions these, and it's still just Wireshark, right? It seems like that. So let's quickly look at this. Is it dump all of it? All the tcpdump.org. This is the home website of TCP dump. And I think, I don't know if I'm right. Let's just see if I've done this. No, right, this is in the same path. It's in this path too, I'm kind of sure. You can just look at the dashboard and view path. And so after these, we have this bit. So it's the next step after network security. So yeah, 1444. And we also have T-Shark, and I don't know how much this is connected to Wireshark. So, T-Shark manual page on Wireshark.
Is Shark like the Clive version of Wireshark?
Yeah, I think so, but I'm not sure if they're the same, or if it's just I want one of those that's for the command prompt, you know.
Dixerbot says,
Time to move it, move it. 5 chair sit-ups redeemed.
Chair sit-ups, okay. Let's do chair sit-ups at once. Slowly. Hi,
says,
Goku.
Hi.
Welcome
waving
in.
hand.
So, an extra one, right? Actually, it's very hot and my water is out, so I'm running down to get some water.
Your TTS
Yeah,
is
it is
slow
right.
today.
And I guess that means it's not, I don't think it's me that's slow or my browser that's slow. I think it's Google. Because it's all sent to Google. Passing by, well, I guess Secret Alive on the way there.
Lurking now.
So, yeah, did you see the Goku? Did you see the new redeem that we just added here? Play with the robot arm. You can control it from chat. But if you're lurking and working or something, right? Oh, these are the vitamins I buy for my kids. Candy vitamins. What I was thinking is are they the same thing, but Wireshark is the GUI of the same tool, or not? That's the question.
I redeemed the robot arm.
Okay, sure.
Nothing happened.
No, I'll have to. I just edited it. I'll have to log into the phone here and start the app. You can move it anytime, but you won't see it move if I don't put the phone on. So, now you can move it. Here's the command list. Right, I should make a... Let's make a thing here. A text. Let's make it text.
DDDO.
I'm going to make a nicer robot controls here.
D.
And you can also do exclamation. Should I do this? Will it even fit here? No. You can use that too if you don't want it red.
DDDOC.
So let me copy this. And that's kind of big, right? Kind of big. Just 256 points text.
Is it working?
No, you just have to do like D. I'm going to add so it can do D30 and a number, like, you know?
Fixit says.
So
D34.
So this end of it can do that already, but I haven't added it to the robot logic, so it doesn't know that it can't do it yet. Simply. So there you have the controls. Let's also put this one higher up in the list so it's easier to enable and disable.
Goaku says.
Ads are starting for me.
Fixit
We'll
says. No hurry, we'll wait.
So that's better, right? Oh, right. I don't like that list. Let's fix it. Let's do open closed. Didn't I fix this? Open close. U up. Right. D down.
Goaku says.
4 ads.
Oh. Sorry.
Fix
What
It
happened
says,
there?
sorry 11.
It was supposed to be exclamation marks, not ones. So there, I think that's worse to have these.
Goaku says,
Ads support the stream.
Yeah.
Yikes, 4 more ads.
What? 8 ads? That's odd.
Fix It says, 8 ads.
Sounds very odd. So yeah, so I do hope to get, simply that I would need some money because I can't work much because of my kids. That's why I do this too. So, but
Goaku says,
I still have to do the
Yes,
studying,
and
right?
it is the same Sea of Thieves, Coke ads.
Oh. At least you didn't get French ads. I was like, I don't know what it was. It was like energy ads in French. Like, I don't know. I guess I'll say when they'll say when they're back. So, so we don't have to do anything more. I guess white is okay for the simple thing, right? Let's just change the position a tiny bit here, so it's like in the middle there.
F50.
Yeah, I wish it could work, but it's not working yet. So I don't know if you heard, but I got like French energy
D30.
ads. Like, buy power from this company or something. In French? I don't know French. So it was kind of funny. So let's just
This is not
check
like a
here.
claw machine, lol.
No. Let's help each other. You need to turn right.
Fix It says,
You can also do like
R?
this. So I
R4.
think one more.
R5.
Let's give it a chance to move. Yeah, I thought so. It moved. I'll need to move it back a bit.
L?
Right. You can't see. Tell me if I push the legs here of the. There's a light stand it's on. Like a tiny phone on the light stand. So I think it's just like forward a few and then you can grab it. But you redeemed it, so I won't destroy it. Let's research this. So T-Shark is a network protocol analyzer.
Goaku says,
What are the use cases for this robot arm for the regular person? Someone in a wheelchair?
I think the use case for this robot arm is to learn more things about how technology works, right? So you can make something from sturdier materials. Look how this is can't even and these screws can't be put harder than this, but some of the others might. But I think it's kind of this loose because of these screws, So that's how it is. I guess I might put something there myself to have it more steady.
That tickles.
That was fun. So it lets you capture packet data. Go for it. See if you can pick it up. The purple thingy, right? It's like this Halloween light. Oh, it's off now. Sorry. This on. Now you have light in the thingy. I can turn all the lights off here. In here it'll be. You can see it better. So, it lets you capture packet data from a live network, or read packets from a previously saved capture file, or printing a decoded form of those packets to the standard output, or writing the packets to a file. Well, we could have guessed that, right? But what's the relation to? I guess I already opened that one, right? So, T-Shark. T-Shark's native capture file format is PCAPNG format, which is also the format used by Wireshark and various other tools. Without any option sets, T-Shark will work much like TCP dump. It will use the PCAP library to capture traffic from the first available network interface and displays the summary line on let's also add this to the notes. I don't even have the notes open. I do. They're always open, right? So if I switch to my right screen now, something odd will happen because my right screen are currently a preview, so I'll have to close the preview here. So Goku, are you done with your redeem, or do you want to capture it? The purple. Have you played? Are you done with playing? So, because if I switch to my right screen, it will disappear for a bit. I'll do it. We can fix it later. It's still there on the left screen. So,
no more robot redeem lurking.
Okay, then I will just hide these two. And actually, I won't hide the camera. We'll just open it up and see what the power level is. It's 100%, meaning that this setup with the power cord in my lap works much better. Not that I prefer this way. If I put it somewhere like this, I don't have to have it like in my face, so less noticeable. I'll fix it for next time. So in this app we have close phone app there, so it won't overheat too. It's very hot in here too, so I don't want more heat than I have to have. So to the notes. Let's see. I'm thinking it's very much network exploration, but it's it's a specific bit of it. Let's actually, we could make a folder, right? So T-Shark. And what was our first search on this? Let's see what this is. Okay, so this is a site where you have like man pages, right? kind of long. Is it exactly the same as this? That's the question, because I like this one. This has more details here. This explains the options and everything. Let's use this link. I'm just pasting it in the notes. And we can steal this one too. Right, you're on the wrong screen. My God. There. So I opened another page and compared. I think this is more readable, even though there's lots of details on all the options and everything in here. So it's very long. I think all of the information is there too. So this looks like a page where we can't see a thing without turning on bright light mode. As someone said, why is not dark mode default everywhere, all of the ways? That's a good question. Start here. So, big difference. I had to go back even. About installation configuration. So, there's even this is what this is. Is this supposed to be logical? This site is your complete guide to networking with package captures on the command line. The focus here is on doing everything in the CLI, because that's an interface your scripts and programs can use. Bash features prominently here, with examples also in Python and Ruby. Programs such as TermShark and PyShark do novel things by leveraging T-Shark. What is Wireshark? What is T-Shark? Terminal Wireshark. So here we have the name of it. Terminal Wireshark. So it has most, but not all of the features of Wireshark. Let's add this one to the notes there too. What features T-Shark lacks is often found in other CLI tools that are bundled with Wireshark. With man pages. That's where we were. Here. So if we have something nice to analyze, we could use it more. Let's make a note for TCP dump too, because we didn't have one. We didn't have one. Look what happened. I'm blind. I am obviously blind, so let's remove this one. It's not like I had lots of notes here, right? But it was kind of embarrassing. So this is also why I didn't have oh, I have another one that's just nothing. So I didn't have T-Shark at all, and this one said that it's a command line Wireshark. That's my quick explanation what it does, to make notes later. The most useful. So let's go to the documentation, which is apparently where we were. Yeah, here's the man page. So I'm kind of hoping we'll use these more, but I don't think I'll make notes on them now when we're in the middle of the room here. So we had read all of this already, so let's go to the next one. I'm hoping we'll have some kind of practical bit in this. It's not just being an explanation what a man-in-the-middle attack is, but we're actually going to do it, right? A man-in-the-middle attack occurs when a victim A believes they are communicating with a legitimate destination B, but is unknowingly communicating with an attacker E. In the figure below, we have A requesting the transfer of 20 to M. However, E has altered the message and replaced the original value with a new one. Oh. B believed the modified message and acted on it. This attack is relatively simple to carry out if the two parties do not confirm the authenticity and integrity of each message. In some cases, the chosen protocol does not provide secure authentication or integrity checking. Moreover, some protocols have inherent insecurities that make them susceptible to this kind of attack. Anytime you browse over HTTP, you're susceptible to an MITM attack. And the scary thing is you cannot recognize it. Many tools would aid you in carrying out such an attack, such as EduCap and BetterCap. And I've tried those. At least one of them. MITM can also affect other clear text protocols such as FTP, SMTP, and POP3. Mitigation against this attack requires the use of cryptography. I can't speak today. The solution lies in proper authentication among the encryption and signing of exchanged messages. With the help of public key infrastructure, PKI, and trusted root certificates. Transport layer security, TLS, protects from MITM attacks, man-in-the-middle attacks. And then we're supposed to look at the web pages. And I kinda cheated and did this quickly because I was trying to keep my amazing 22-day streak. I had 64 at one time. Let's make it better. And it was like not my fault that it didn't. They were sending me emails every day that go there, and I trusted these emails, and if I didn't get one, I thought I'd already done it, and I didn't get one, and I lost the streak. And then I was like, not that it mattered much. I was like thinking, is it positive or negative? You know, because I want not to be locked to try hack me. I want to be able to study somewhere else for a day and not, you know, feel like I have had something negative happen. But it's always there reminding you, and now I get the mails again. So I guess we'll see what happens. It's not like I'll cry if it breaks again. But I do have to make a quick bathroom break. So let's do that before we continue. Let's put, just in case someone pops in, you know. Let's put on the T1. I'll be right back. I think water is better than tea today, actually. So we'll stick with the water. Because of the heat. So, AirCap. AirCap is a comprehensive suit for managing the middle attack. It features sniffing of live connections, content filtering on the fly, and many other interesting tricks. It's supposed to be active and passive. The section of any protocols. I'm thinking I want to add a simple note. Supported distributions. And Debian with Kali on the top there. I don't remember when, but I think I have tested it. Is there not like screenshots? Isn't that the basic thing for a page about a tool? I'm sure I already have it, so now that we're going to get it now, I'm like, where in my tools should I put this? Any suggestions? So let's put it under connection, since it's not so many notes here. I did press two piece. Maybe I didn't lift my finger off the key enough.
John Rosemary says, "Good afternoon."
Good afternoon. So, I'm thinking where to put these. I might move them later. So, it's not much in here, right? So, how's your day so far? Come in with a good afternoon, same as I have. I'm thinking this is not just waking up, it's something more. You have done things today, right? So I'm interested in details, not just like how do I install it, right? So I guess that's Google then. Then we have the BetterCap.
What do we do today? Tree Hackham. What machine?
Yeah, today, right now, we're going through this room. Then we might do a machine after this, or a box, or whatever you want to call it. We might do that. But I want to finish these paths too. This is a junior penetration testing one. So, I think I've used one of them. Oh, sorry. It says it thinks it's spam, but I'll just So it said suspected spam. So yeah, right. Let's continue, because I think I'll just quickly add this to my notes too. And I was kind of disappointed at the other page. There were no more information there. It was just how to install it. I mean, that's not very hard to. I'm just there, adding to the notes. This. And oh my. The Swiss Army knife for Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, low energy wireless. I'm so sorry. Burp. Networks reconnaissance and MITM attacks. Okay, sure. Let's copy this, but I'm sure it'll be links and stuff. So just let's. No. Yeah, it's just tiny. Okay, so there. So there. Read the project interaction to get an idea. I think you can just shift paste too. Yeah, that's what I want. Some kind of project introduction. So this is what I asked for in the other web page was a screenshot, and this has a screenshot at once, meaning also that this is a graphical tool. It's not like I'm hating graphical tools, it's just, yeah. I guess it's good that it's graphical. So, introduction. Just quickly scanning it. So, we'll have to try these out, but not now. So, Transport Layer Security, TLS. In this task, we learn about a standard solution to protect the confidentiality and integrity of the exchanged packages. The following approach can protect against password filtering and man-in-the-middle attacks. SSL Secure Sockets Layer started when the World Wide Web started to see new applications such as online shopping and sending payment information. Netscape introduced SSL in 1994 and SSL 3 being released in 1996, but eventually more security was needed and TLS, Transport Security Layer Security Protocol, was introduced in 1999. Before we explain what TLS and SSL provide, let's see how they fit the networking model. The common protocols we have covered so far send data as clear text. This makes it possible for anyone with access to the network to capture, save, and analyze the exchanged messages. The image shows below shows the ISO OSI network layers. The protocols we have covered so far in this room are on the application layer. Consider the ISO OSI model. Why do they say ISO all the time? We can add encryption to our protocols via the presentation layer. Consequently, data will be presented in an encrypted format, ciphertext, instead of its own format. So, here we have stuff, the SSL and TLS. Because of the close relation between SSL and TLS, one might be used instead of the other. However, TLS is more secure than SSL, and it has practically replaced SSL. We would have dropped SSL and just written TLS instead of SSL TLS, but we will continue to mention the two to avoid any ambiguity because the term SSL is still in wide use. Therefore, we can expect all modern servers to be using TLS. An exciting cleartext protocol can be upgraded to the encryption via SSL TLS. And we can use TLS to upgrade HTTP, FTP, SMTP, POP3, IMAP, to name a few. The following table lists the protocols we have covered and their default ports before and after the encryption upgrade via SSL TLS. The list is not exhaustive, however. The purpose is to help us better understand the process. So HTTP, default port 80, HTTPS 443. So let's just make sure that we have all of these in my ports list. Let's see, port use. And I'm sure there's something that's not here. So of course we have port 80 and 443. FTP with 21, but we do not have 990. So I'm going to add it to the list here quickly. We have 990, which is FTPS. Look, this one is twice. It's up there too. This one is kind of backwards, but let's just fix that too while we're still here. That's annoying. Can't I manage to cut something? There. And then we have SMTP is 25 and it's here, but SMTPS is 465. So let's go 465 SMTPS. And then we have POP3 110 and 995 is POP3S. And then we have IMAP 143 and 993 is IMAP-S. There. So we've added them, the ones that were not in our list, because these are, not very uncommon at least. So I don't want to have all ports in there. So I won't have anything. But I did add the gRPC one here that I had from a box. So considering the case of HTTP, initially to retrieve the web page over HTTP, the browser would need to at least perform the following two steps. Establish a TCP connection with a remote web server. Send HTTP requests to the web server, such as GET and POST requests. HTTPS requires an additional step to encrypt the traffic. The new step takes place after establishing a TCP connection and before sending HTTP requests. This extra step will be inferred from the iOS OSI model in the image presented earlier. Consequently, HTTP requires at least the following steps. Establish a TCP connection, establish SSL TLS connection, send HTTP request to the web server. To establish an SSL TLS connection, the client needs to perform the proper handshake with the server. Based on RFC 6101, the SSL connection establishments will look like the figure below. Client hello. Server hello. Certificate. Server key exchange. Certificate request. Server hello done. Certificate. Client key exchange. Certificate verify. Change cipher spec. Finished. Change cipher spec. Finished. Okay. That looks advanced. After establishing a TCP connection with the server, the client establishes a SSL TLS connection as shown in the figure above. The terms might look complicated depending on your knowledge of cryptography, but we can simply find it 4 steps. Well, not that complicated, but I mean, it's not like hi, done thing. But I guess it's logical since this is SSL that it will have a key. Certificate request. Also, there are these stars, but it doesn't say what stars mean. So, the client sends a client hello to the server to indicate its capabilities, such as supported algorithms. So that's what it is. That means it says so much more than client hello. It also gives information. I am feeling that I've slept too little a few days. And gone up too early. I'm thinking I should get something energetic to eat. I will just do that. I'm sorry for running away a lot. I'll just get something to eat, and possibly, since it's kind of warm, have some ice cream. I'm putting tea because that sounds better, right? But I'm actually getting something cold. So, no tea, but vanilla ice cream with cacao. I don't know if it's called that in English. Some... Oh, it's so nice and cold, a bowl. I can just have it in my mouth. Coldness. I should get a fan. I usually have a fan on the summertime, you know. Time for it. So you shouldn't breathe in when you eat. That's because it's, you know, powder. I usually mix it, but I think it's too much. So if I suddenly start coughing, it's because I shouldn't blow on it or think it's too funny either, I guess. That's nice. So let's read again. After establishing a TCP connection with the server, the client establishes a SSL TLS connection, as shown in the figure above. The terms might look complicated depending on your knowledge of cryptography, but we can simplify it to 4 steps. The client says hello to the server to indicate its capabilities, such as supported algorithms. The server responds with a server hello, indicating the selected connection parameters. The server provides a certificate if server authentication is required. The certificate is a digital file to identify itself. It is usually digitally signed by a third party. Moreover, it might send additional information necessary to generate the master key in its server key exchange message before sending the server hello done message to indicate that it is done with the negotiation. The client responds with the client key exchange, which contains additional information required to generate the master key. Furthermore, it switches to use encryption and informs the server using the change cipher spec message. The server switches to use encryption as well and informs the client in the change cipher spec. How hard was it to say that? Change cipher spec message. If this sounds sophisticated, don't worry. You don't need. We only need the gist of it. A client was able to agree on a secret key with the server that has a public certificate. This secret key was securely generated so as a third party monitoring the channel wouldn't be able to discover it. Further communication between the client and the server will be encrypted using the generated key. Consequently, once the SSL TLS handshake has been established, HTTP requests and exchange data won't be accessible to anyone watching the communication channel. As a final note, for SSL TLS to be effective, especially when browsing the web over HTTPS, we rely on a public certificate signed by certificate authorities trusted by our systems. In other words, when we browse to TryHackMe or HTTPS, our browser expects the TryHackMe web server to provide the signed certificate from a trusted certificate authority. As per the example below, this way, our browser ensures that it is communicating with the correct server. and a MITM attack cannot occur. I mean, in the middle, I should say. It's quicker to say, even. So. In the figure above, we can see the following information: to whom the certificate issued, what's the name of the company that will use the certificate, who issued the certificate. This is the certificate authority that issued a certificate. Validity period. You don't want to use a certificate that has expired, for instance. Luckily, we don't have to check the certificate manually for every site we visit. Our web browser will do it for us. Our web browser will ensure that we're talking with the correct server and ensure that our communications are secure. Thanks to the server certificate. DNS can also be secured using TLS. What is the 3-letter acronym for the DNS protocol that uses TLS? So I am going to just eat before this is starting to melt already. DNS over TLS, Transport Layer Security, DOT. DNS over TLS. Okay, so the answer is DOT. DOT. Let's see what their hint was. And there we got to 23. So, let's stay here for a second. This is, you know, chocolate powder. It's kind of, I dropped a piece of ice cream and it just like into my eye. So I guess I better it also melts and is not visible underneath. Just mixing it a bit so it doesn't go so cloudy. I felt a bit too zoomed in there, right? Well, that's a nice thing with a real camera too, you know? You can zoom optically. is an IETF standard that provides full stream encryption between DNS client and DNS server. I'm kind of thinking we should TTS one of the pages so I can eat without stressing too much. So what if we click the button
DNS over TLS versus DNS.
Tell me if it's
DNS
too
over
loud.
TLS versus DNS over HTTPS secure
It's a bit
DNS.
loud to me.
DNS queries are sent in plain text, which means anyone can read them. DNS over HTTPS and DNS over TLS encrypt DNS queries and responses to keep user browsing secure and private. However, both approaches have their pros and cons. Learning objectives. 1. Understand why DNS needs greater security, and why DNS privacy is important. 2. Learn how DNS over TLS and DNS over HTTPS work, and the differences between them. 3. Explain the pros and cons of both approaches. 4. Compare DNS over TLS/HTTPS to DNSSEC. Want to keep learning? Subscribe to the NET, Cloudflare's monthly recap of the Internet's most popular insights. Refer to Cloudflare's privacy policy to learn how we collect and process your personal data. Why does DNS need additional layers of security? DNS is the phone book of the Internet. DNS resolvers translate human-readable domain names into machine-readable IP addresses. By default, DNS queries and responses are sent in plain text, via UDP, which means they can be read by networks, ISPs, or anybody able to monitor transmissions. Even if a website uses HTTPS, the DNS query required to navigate to that website is exposed. This lack of privacy has a huge impact on security and, in some cases, human rights. If DNS queries are not private, then it becomes easier for governments to censor the Internet and for attackers to stalk users' online behavior. Think of a normal, unencrypted DNS query as being like a postcard sent through the mail. Anyone handling the mail may happen to catch a glimpse of the text written on the backside, so it is not wise to mail a postcard that contains sensitive or private information. DNS over TLS and DNS over HTTPS are two standards developed for encrypting plaintext DNS traffic in order to prevent malicious parties, advertisers, ISPs, and others from being able to interpret the data. Continuing the analogy, these standards aim to put an envelope around all postcards going through the mail, so that anyone can send a postcard without worrying that someone is snooping on what they are up to. What is DNS over TLS? DNS over TLS, or DOT, is a standard for encrypting DNS queries to keep them secure and private. DOT uses the same security protocol, TLS, that HTTPS websites use to encrypt and authenticate communications. TLS is also known as SSL. DOT adds TLS encryption on top of the user datagram protocol, UDP, which is used for DNS queries. Additionally, it ensures that DNS requests and responses are not tampered with or forged via on-path attacks. What is DNS over HTTPS? DNS over HTTPS, or DO, is an alternative to DOT. With DO, DNS queries and responses are encrypted, but they are sent via the HTTP or HTTP/2 protocols instead of directly over UDP. Like DOT, DO ensures that attackers can't forge or alter DNS traffic. DO traffic looks like other HTTPS traffic, e.g. normal user-driven interactions with websites and web apps, from a network administrator's perspective. In February 2020, the Mozilla Firefox browser began enabling DO for US users by default. DNS queries from the Firefox browser are encrypted by DO and go to either Cloudflare or NextDNS. Several other browsers also support DO, although it is not turned on by default. Wait, doesn't HTTPS use TLS for encryption too? How are DNS over TLS and DNS over HTTPS different? Each standard was developed separately and has its own RFC * documentation, but the most important difference between DOT and DO is what port they use. DOT only uses port 853, while DO uses port 443, which is the port that all other HTTPS traffic uses as well. Because DOT has a dedicated port, anyone with network visibility can see DOT traffic coming and going, even though the requests and responses themselves are encrypted. In contrast, with DO, DNS queries and responses are camouflaged within other HTTPS traffic, since it all comes and goes from the same port. *RFC stands for Request for Comments, and an RFC is a collective attempt by developers, networking experts, and thought leaders to standardize an internet technology or protocol. What is a port? In networking, a port is a virtual place on a machine that is open to connections from other machines. Every networked computer has a standard number of ports, and each port is reserved for certain types of communication. Think of ports for ships in a harbor. Each shipping port is numbered, and different kinds of ships are supposed to go to specific shipping ports to unload cargo or passengers. Networking is the same way. Certain types of communications are supposed to go to certain network ports.
DNS.
The difference is that the network ports are virtual, they are places for digital connections rather than physical connections. Which is better, DOT or DO? This is up for debate. From a network security standpoint, DOT is arguably better. It gives network administrators the ability to monitor and block DNS queries, which is important for identifying and stopping malicious traffic. DO queries, meanwhile, are hidden in regular HTTPS traffic, meaning they cannot easily be blocked without blocking all other HTTPS traffic as well. However, from a privacy perspective, DO is arguably preferable. With DO, DNS queries are hidden within the larger flow of HTTPS traffic. This gives network administrators less visibility but provides users with more privacy. 1.1.1.1, the free DNS resolver from Cloudflare, supports both DOT and DO. What is the difference between DNS over TLS/HTTPS and DNSSEC? DNSSEC is a set of security extensions for verifying the identity of DNS root servers and authoritative name servers in communications with DNS resolvers. It is designed to prevent DNS cache poisoning, among other attacks. It does not encrypt communications. DNS over TLS or HTTPS, on the other hand, does encrypt DNS queries. 1.1.1.1 supports DNSSEC as well. To learn more about 1.1.1.1, see what is 1.1.1.1? Subscribe to the NET. Receive a monthly recap of the most popular internet insights. Refer to Cloudflare's privacy policy to learn how we collect and process your personal data.
So we don't have to make an ad for them. So that was interesting, but it was also, some of it was like, what is a part, you know? But I don't mind. Maybe this one would have been better. I'm not finished yet.
What is DNS over DLS? DOT. DNS over TLS, Transport Layer Security, or DOT is an IETF standard that provides full stream encryption between a DNS client and a DNS server. DNS has traditionally suffered from a last-mile security problem. Communications between a DNS client and the DNS server are almost always unencrypted, and therefore subject to spoofing, interception, and more. DNS over TLS is documented in IETF RFC 7858 specification for DNS over Transport Layer Security, TLS. How DNS over TLS, DOT, works. Initiation of DNS over TLS is very straightforward. By establishing a connection over a well-known TCP port, 853, clients and servers expect and agree to negotiate a TLS session to secure the channel. RFC 7858 defines the following method for using DNS over TLS to establish secure sessions. 1. Session initiation. A DNS server that supports DNS over TLS listens for and accepts TCP connections on port 853, unless it has a mutual agreement with its server to use a different port for DOT.
Thanks.
When using
Just
DNS over
enable
TLS,
DNS over
all
TLS
TCP
and
connections on
extends
port
router smile
853
smile.
should be encrypted, as significant
Nice.
security issues arise in mixing encrypted and unencrypted data. 2. TLS handshake and authentication. Once the DNS client successfully connects, it proceeds with the TLS handshake and will authenticate with the DNS server, if required. After the TLS negotiation is completed, the connection is encrypted. DNS over TLS, DOT, vs DNS over HTTPS.
I knew what
DO.
it was and how it worked.
DNS over
Just never had it
HTTPS,
enabled
DO,
before.
is a
I
second
already used
IETF security protocol that
1.1.1.1.
addresses DNC client and DNS server communication security. DO is documented in IETF
Let's
RFC
see.
8484. Both DNS over
Eating too
TLS
much
and
cola
DNS
when
over
I get
HTTPS provide for encryption
cough.
between the DNS client and the DNS server, enabling data privacy and integrity.
Ah,
However, DO uses
Should
the same
we
TCP
turn
port
it
used
off?
by other HTTPS traffic, port 443. As a result, identifying DO from other HTTPS traffic can be difficult. However, DO has limitations in that
what
some
do you think,
applications that support
people?
DO also may deliberately ignore local DNS client configuration. Mozilla's Firefox browser, for example, has experimental support for DOE in
I
some
like the
builds.
TTS from the
When
site.
enabled,
I wouldn't have
Firefox will
read all
ignore any
that.
local DNS
Yeah, so
configuration
this
and
is
send
kind
DNS
of
queries over
nice way
HTTPS.
to you know, if you think, oh, this seems much, you can just go and do whatever you need while you listen to it. That's a nice way to learn more. But now I got curious. I guess I didn't really look at the last bit there, because I was eating ice cream at the same time. So, to learn more about 1.1. Yeah, free DNS resolver from Cloudflare. Okay. I use 8888. I guess it would support all of it too, of course. So. So we have we listened a bit on that while I finished my ice cream. I guess I'll be at the perfect temperature for about 2 minutes, right? But I'm just as tired now as I was before. I think only sleep can fix that problem. So
Sleep is good.
yeah, it's kind of good. I should get more of it.
My favorite pastime.
I don't have time to sleep. But seriously, I was tired very early yesterday, and I couldn't go to sleep because I had to like help my kids. And then at the end, I ended up like watching a bit of Netflix because I was so tired just to stay awake. And then, of course, I watched an extra episode that when I could have been sleeping, you know. But kids need food and things like that, so I guess I ended up sleeping like 1 or something. I should get like 1 night of 8 hours sleep. That would be nice. It's just my own fault. So, SSH Secure Shell was created to provide a secure way for remote system admins. And when I read the last time about Telnet, I was like, yeah, I used to use Telnet. That was long ago. What I don't even remember when I started using SSH, instead. So, it was created to provide a secure way for remote system administration. In other words, it let you securely connect to another system over the network and execute commands. What I feel is when I read, and I have one light there that's kind of bright, and I have one light here, and my eyes usually don't care about the lights much, but today it's like, bright light. So I feel it. I'll lean closer so I don't matter as much. So let you securely connect to another system over the network and execute commands on a remote system. Put simply, the S in SSH stands for secure. The S in SSH. There's 2 S's! Which can be summarized simply as sorry, I'm tired. You can see I'm tired when I think that's so funny, right? The S in SSH made my day. You can confirm the identity of the remote server. Exchanged messages are encrypted and can only be decrypted by the intended recipients. Both sides can detect any modification in the messages. Okay. I'm thinking like, isn't this obvious? But I guess not. The above 3 points are ensured by cryptography. In more technical terms, they are part of confidentiality and integrity made possible through the proper use of different encryption algorithms. To use SSH, you need an SSH server and an SSH client. The SSH server listens on port 22 by default. The SSH client can authenticate using a username and password, a public and private and public key after the SSH server is configured to recognize.
I've
And
used
there
SSH
could be a
for
password.
years. We used to use Telnet to connect to our network switches though.
Yeah, I mean, it's simpler system had older communication ways, longer, I guess. But usually switches you would still just connect on your local network, I guess, so. But still. So when we did the room before FTP, I remember we had an FTP server on Compaq when I worked there, and we used to tell people, to download the drivers from the FTP. Feels so long ago now. And when I worked at EA's, there was someone there having an FTP server too. So I read that. I should keep track of where I am. I guess when you're tired, it's not as obvious where you're reading. In more technical terms, they are part of it confidentiality and integrity, as I read, made possible through the proper use of different encryption algorithms. And I read this too, all of it, so I was just about to scroll down, I guess. Linux, Mac OS, and Windows, built after 2018, you can connect an SSH server. Well, 2018, I don't think I have any computer that new. You can connect an SSH server using the following command, SSH do. This command will try to connect the server of the IP address, machine IP, with the login name, username. If an SSH server is listening on the default port, why am I not listening to what I'm reading? It will ask you to provide a password for username. Once authenticated, the user will have access to the target server's terminal. The terminal output below is an example of using SSH. So I'm not going. This is SSH. We've used it a million times. right? In the example above, we issued the command SSH mark did it. Then once we entered the correct password, we got access to the remote system's terminal. SSH is very reliable for remote administration because our username and password were sent encrypted. Moreover, the commands we execute on the remote system will be sent over an encrypted channel. Note that this is the first time we connect to the system. We will need to confirm the fingerprint of the SSH server's public key to avoid man-in-the-middle attacks. Explained earlier, M in the middle. Now I'm mixing it up here. Man in the middle takes place in the when the malicious party E situates itself between A and B and communicates with A pretending to be B, communicates with B pretending to be A, while A and B think they're communicating with each other. In the case of SSH, we don't usually have a third party to check if the public key is valid, so we need to do this manually. This check is shown in the image below. Hello. So we can use SSH to transfer files using SCP, Secure Copy Protocol, based on SSH protocol. An example of the syntax is as follows: SCP mark at machine, where on earth the file is, to wherever it's going. This command will copy the file to the directory root. Another example syntax is SCP file name to something. Okay, so copying from local to remote. As a closing note, FTP could be secured using SSL TLS by using the FTPS protocol, which uses port 990. Confirming that we have that in the notes, we do. It is worth mentioning that FTP can also be secured by using SSH protocol, which is the SFTP. By default, the service listens on port 22, just like SSH. Okay, so yeah. So FTPS and SFTP is not, I'm not sure that I even noted that in my brain. So maybe we should add this to the FTP notes right here. That
would make you think you have to stop SSH service to be able to use SFTP. But that isn't true.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so no, it's like SCP, right? It just uses it. It uses SSH. So FTP can be secured by using
yeah, it uses the SSH service.
Yeah. So TLS, oh my god, I'm not even capitalizing it right. TLS SFTP default port 990, and by using SSH FTPS I guess it would use the configured SSH port, which would of course be default 22. I don't say a port there.
We used to host the SFTP server, which also allowed FTPS connections, but we've since stopped the FTPS service, which was using VSFTP as its daemon.
Okay. So then, right, they look funny when they're capitalized. That's why in my list here with the port use, I just type them like this, you know. So let's do. I can't read this when it's. I don't know. Let's do SSH. I know it's abbreviations. It could be easier to read them if they're capitalized, but I think it's not, because it's
that
usually...
top one should be FTPS.
Oh right, I typed the same on both. Thanks. I would have been confused when looking at my notes. So yeah, FTPS. Why did I mistype it now? I'm curious. Let's just undo. So
it's fine now.
Yeah. So it was SFTP. I just changed it to the wrong thing. There. I just undid it to make sure. See if I did it the wrong way both times. So let's go back. We have a few questions here. Use SSH to connect to machine IP. So we're not. Didn't we start this one? Maybe it was long ago. It just died on us. That's probably it. I probably didn't think of it and renew it. So I will get an IP. I don't think I even logged into Kali here. So let's do that. It's just Kali. Very complicated password to type. So it's awake, and we don't have an IP yet though. First, let's start the. I think we have an 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So it was quicker than me. There. Use SSH to connect to 1010 7036 as marked. So SSH mark at 10, oh my comma, 10 7036 with a password. There. And the password is XBTC49AB. And then we're supposed to run unamr. And they want this as a reply. Here. Use SSH to download the filebook.txt. How many KBs did SCP display as download size?
At Fixit is your theme tune should be Technologic by Daft Punk.
I don't know what that is.
Tyrone Sluck says.
Do you pay for THM?
Yeah, I do. I got a free month, and then I kinda like, well, it is easier to not having to jump between the parts, And then I didn't use it for lots of months. So, but now I'm using it again, so. But I realized it was more expensive than I thought, because I thought it was like $5, but it's like 15.
Do you use the premium package?
I don't even know what the premium package is. So I just pay months. So if I'm not using it, I guess I should pause it too. Because money's I don't have so much of those. Yeah, so let's disconnect from this one. We have to, of course, just tell us.
Terry's a business one too, for $40, so probably not that one.
No. It's the. I thought it was 5, but it was actually 15, so I'm kind of surprised. I have to almost check back and see what it was, but I think it was the same all the time.
Premium is $10 with a discount.
Okay. Oh, whatever. Let's continue. What kind of discount,
says,
by the way?
Ad break.
Oh. The only thing. I know he can't hear me.
Fixit says,
Got an ad.
okay.
Yeah, I can feel I'm tired. I'm like, what was I thinking of? What was I doing?
Tyrone Slux says,
It's $14, but it has saved 25% ATM for the first month.
Okay. Yeah. And also you can if you click the code on the bottom there, I get like 5. We both get 5 or something, but that's just for people starting it. Let's see. I'm supposed to SCP this, I think. So we have.
Or if billed annually, actually.
Yeah, probably. And I'm not doing that because I don't know how long I will use it, So it's kind of expensive to pay a lot if you don't know, if you're not sure. I'm kind of trying to go through all of it. So let's see. Okay, you can't have VPN, right? If you're not paying. But you can always pay when you use it. So well, I like it anyway. Most of it is good.
I've not looked at the packages before.
Okay. You can send a link in chat if you want to, if you have a good link. So I'm like, this is easier.
I only looked at it a year or more ago when Security Love was using it.
Okay, he was. I don't remember that. He was using Try Hack Me?
Woopinion says, so Fixit, Technologic by Daft Punk as your anthem, what do you think? Tyrone Slux says,
I guess
or
I
it
can't.
was longer ago, or mentioned it.
Okay. Gosh, I'm trying to just scroll in chat here. Technology. I know that I shouldn't, listen to music. But I'll copy it. Have you heard the start song? Did you hear the start song? This is like Suno. We can hop to the
Woopinion
start
says,
screen.
no.
Yeah, so I'm not muted. I thought I might be muted there. This is the first, kind of like the first test I did with Suno. So I just added it so we have something, because it's just a countdown. It's usually a countdown in the middle of the screen there, so. Yeah, and there are double bars here for me and the music.
Tyrone Slux says,
This was created by I. Did you give it the lyrics or just a prompt?
A prompt, so it says something like calm and collected, and that was me saying it to make it like a calm song, because, well, I was trying different things. So with all the calm ones, it made was kind of bad. You can make like 10 a day for free, but you can't really use them for anything that you give me money on, so. So if I go to Suno here.
Woopinion says, can I post a link to the lyrics?
Yeah, and I just copied it too, the name here. So, but I don't want to start anything. Oh, okay. Okay, I think it's easy. Let's see the lyrics. Okay. That's funny. That's funny. I'll have to listen to it later. I guess we can do 10 seconds, but we can like hop to the middle or something, right?
Buy it, use it,
unzip it,
break
lock
it,
it, fill
fix
it,
it,
call it,
trash
find
it,
it, view
change
it,
it,
code it.
mail, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick, erase it, write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick, rewrite it, plug it, play it, burn it, rip it, drag and drop it, zip, unzip it, lock
Plug
it,
it in.
fill it, call it, find it, view it, code it, jam, unlock it.
That's funny. That's funny. So let's do this. Let's do this.
That wasn't bad. TTS has rhythm.
You can record it and make a song. Not. I don't think it's. I mean, when you make a comma, you can decide how it will punctuate. You know. Make a rhythm. Oh, so what on earth file did they want? Book.txt? So but we want book.txt. And it's supposed to be colon. And should we assume it's in home? Mark. I'm assuming home mark since they have that as an example. So oh my goodness, I have to scroll up and let's copy the password. Where is the password? I had it just here.
Can you ls/home?
Yeah, but I'm not currently on it. I exited. So. And if we're on the machine, do we need the login information? But I should probably just. Oh no.
You left before the party even started.
Yeah, but I wanted to do this, you know. Can't do this if I'm on there. So how many K? 415. So we can go back on there. And I actually copied the password. So I did also do LSLA here. So I should have noticed that there was actually a book.txt there. Yeah. So let's say that we wanted to copy something. Let's say we want to copy the file that we had there. So I haven't used SCP much. So let's do SCP help, right?
What's in his bash history?
We don't have to hack the box. There is a bad history.
Might be creds in there.
Yeah, but it's not a box, you know. But we can look if we're curious. Maybe we should do a box after this, right? Should we do a box after this one? It would be fun. I think it was a bit ago. It was like Thursday.
Well, let's be nosy.
Yeah, always. And it's probably mostly my commands in there, though. It's not big, you know. It's just 21, so it's just probably me doing LSLA 3 times. So let's see. SCP.
Grepitus. Translated from Hungarian.
grep IDY. Let me just look at this first. I would like to have a lot of example of SCP actually, because I'm thinking when I'm logged in, I can't possibly have to log into something else. So if I do like SCP dot,
It's like Giggity, but it's done with grep.
I don't know what Giggity is. So book doc.txt to I guess I would use my own IP here then, because I'm on that machine. So if we do Kali at 10.18.21.236. This is why I'm making a file copy program, because this is annoying, but mostly for when you have to do it with Netcat, because that's much more annoying, because you don't have like know when it's done unless you check yourself for the file size or something. Colon slash let's go for home.
It's a joke from the TV comedy Family Guy.
Kali. Okay. That was long ago, right? Kali book 2.txt. Right? No, apparently not. Oh, there's a dash in there. Why is there a dash? Of course it went crazy. It was supposed to be a dot. Connect to host. Connection refused because it's not using SSH. Right, so we can't do it this direction. Is there somewhere to copy a file to where you're connected from? Right, is there? Also, just to make sure now, I did copy the file, but I had a problem once when I was connected by SSH. I couldn't use this. So if we open a new tab and just paste this and run it, and oh my god, I have to copy the password again. There, it works, because this machine doesn't have a limitation that it has to be one connection. Well, that was a box, that wasn't like a demo thingy. So, let's see. Giggity. Family character. Am I old not to know this? Seems
Lynn
to be
Quagmire.
like, yeah. I kinda remember this. Is it this dude? Right? Was so long.
Probably too young, actually, lol.
I don't think that's the problem. But it was so long. I didn't really watch a lot of Family Guy though. Alright, we were going to look at the history. Let's do that before we go out of here. So, so it's just my commands. from first time I connected. That's all that's in there. So sorry, no fun stuff. There's also a document.txt.
Oh, I see.
Book.txt. Oh, we can read the whole book. So what was the other one? I don't remember apparently. So why did I do that? Why didn't I just do LSLA? I thought I could be smart and not type document. So that was even longer.
I was thinking of the real world. I mean cough cough the simulations in my lab.
Yeah, I have to make a better lab. Tell me about your lab. I need to have a good lab. Right? Can't just have a few tiny VMs. I should install more machines. I have Kali and 2 laptops. One of them, I have a I think it's Windows XP that I guess decided to keep as Windows XP, so we can see what we can play with it. You know, there might be something fun we can do there, like check what vulnerabilities we have. So, password attack. It's 16:39 and I'm like, the schedule says 17, but I don't think there's anything I need to do after today, so as long as don't fall asleep, we can do something fun after this. Maybe I should like quickly do this so we can do a box or something together. Wouldn't that be fun? We discussed network package captures and man-in-the-middle attack, trying to say it quickly, as well as how these attacks can be mitigated using TLS and SSH. The third type of attack that we will cover in this room is a password attack. Okay. Many protocols require you to authenticate. Authentication is proving who you claim to be. When we're using protocols such as POP3, we should not be given access to the mailbox before verifying our identity. POP3 example from the protocols and servers room. Okay. This is something we did, apparently. Is repeated below for your convenience. Okay, so we don't have to have this room up. I just was curious, did I do this? It sounded familiar. I think it was in this list of rooms. In this example, we are identified as the user Frank and the server authenticated us because we provided the correct password. In other words, the password is one way of authentication. Yeah, I remember this. We telnetted there and we sent messages, and I don't think I could do the same because their example server didn't have it working. There were also no messages in their list. It was 00 instead. So we couldn't do anything to actually test this. It was just sad. Authentication or proving your identity can be achieved through one of the following or a combination of the two. Something you know, something you have, something you are. Well, I guess you should read the rest too. Such as a password or PIN code, such as a SIM card or RFID or USB dongle, such as a fingerprint or iris. This task will focus on attacks against password, i.e. something the target knows. If you revisit the communication with several previous servers using protocols such as Telnet, SSH, POP3, IMAP, we always need a password to gain access. Based on 150 million usernames and password leaked from Adobe breach in 2013, the top 10 passwords are... These are so bad, you know. That these are the top 10. Isn't it incredible? Can you really believe this, Oh, whatever. Only 2 passwords are related to Adobe and its products, the rest are generic. Photoshop. You might think that this has changed over the past decade. These will still come from many users. Others haven't realized yet that QWERTY is not a secret. And it's used by many as their password. Oh, that's so secret, Check it against passwords are usually carried out by password guessing. Guessing a password requires some knowledge of the target, such as the pet name and birth year. Dictionary attack. This approach expands password guessing and attempts to include all valid words in dictionary of a word list. Brute force attacks. This attack is the most exhaustive and time-consuming with the attacker can go as far as trying all possible character combinations, which grows fast. Exponential grows with a number of characters. Let's focus on dictionary attacks over time. Hackers have compiled lists containing leaked password from data breaches. One example is Rocky List breaches password, which you can find on the attack box. The choice of the word list should depend on your knowledge on the target. For instance, a French user might use a French word instead of an English one. Consequently, a French word list might be more promising. We want an automated way to try the common password or the entries from a word list. Here comes Hydra. THC. I've never seen THC. I guess it's Hydra, right? This normal Hydra. Why the THC? I'm curious now. I'm very curious. What's THC? THC. THC.org. It's the organization's name. So that's where it comes from. THC.org. So the hacker's choice. IT security. Active projects. Hydra. The first parallelized network long tracker. Twitter has been striking around the list. Oh, how cute. Okay, gain some more knowledge, right? Hydra supports many protocols, including FTP, POP3, IMAP, SMTP, SSH, and all methods related to HTTP. The general command syntax is Hydra LP server service. When we specify the following options, L P precedes the word list file, and I believe it's lowercase p if you have a password, and would be uppercase L for a list of login names. Service hostname and IP address of the target server. Service indicates the service which you're trying to launch the dictionary attack. We'll use Marcus' username, which or the password. Yeah, so they have just switched it up. IP, FTP, and FTP with the IP. It can do both. And this is just SSH instead. There are some optional arguments that you can add. Export, VVV for verbose, very convenient to see the process, especially if you're still not confident of your command line syntax. So if you say the wrong thing, we know more about it. TN, where n is the number of parallel connections up to the target. Let's actually get up my Hydra nodes. So let's see. I would assume I have Hydra nodes. Maybe connection. No, I have something special. Let's make sure you can see it too. So we can Hydra. I'm thinking we'll find a few hits here. That's not what we're looking for. So this is the Hydra file. It's in 18 Kraken brute force. So in here, that's Hydra. Yeah, and we have some notes from another room here. And they're sorted on the protocol. Sorry for... Oh, there's a list. So, VVV for verbose. And there's also VV apparently. But they are doing big capital B and lowercase uppercase v. Whatever. I don't think I need to make more notes. I would assume I have the help for it in here too, don't I? No? It's just a room note. Whatever. We'll not do that now. So, T threads. D debugging. Once the buzzer is found, you can issue Ctrl+C to end the process. Interact with tasks. We expect the attack to finish. Just checking the time here. Within less than a few minutes. However, it would usually take longer in real life scenarios. Options for verbosity or debugging can be pretty useful if you want Hydra to update you about its progress. In summary, attacks against login systems can be carried out efficiently using the tools such as Hydra combined with suitable wordless. Mitigation against such attacks can be sophisticated and depends on the target system. A few of the approaches include password policy. Enforces minimum complexity constraints and password set by the user. Account lockout. Locks the account after a certain failed attempt. Throttling authentication attempts. Delay between. Using CAPTCHA requires solving a question difficult for machines and for humans, usually, right? It works well if the login page is a graphical user interface. Note the CAPTCHA stands for a complete automated public Turing test to tell computers and humans apart. I didn't know that. So that's what CAPTCHA stands for. Requiring the use of public certificate for authentication works well with SSH, two-factor authentication. Ask the user to provide a code available via other means such as email, smartphone, or SMS. There are many other approaches that are more sophisticated or might require more established knowledge of what the uses, such as IP-based geolocation. Using a combination of the above approaches is an excellent approach to protect against password attacks. We'll learn that one of the email account is okay, so we have the name. So let's, without looking at the notes, try and do this, right? So we know that we're going to use Hydra, and I'm not stupid enough to skip getting help from what's already here by just changing this. This one is easy, and we're going to use RockU because they talked about it, so I'm assuming that we will find it here. And we have the IMAP. So IMAP 7036 there. We're just going to type the password when it's done. And then after this, it's time to do a box if you have any suggestions. And since I'm not paying for Hack the Box, but I'm thinking about it, let's try Hack Me, I guess. It's Butterfly, the password. So let's just copy. And I can't even copy stuff. So what do you think we should do? Now you have the you can affect what we do. What should we do? But don't think this is much, right? Or maybe it is. There was actually lots of text here. But while we're reading this, let's think of what we should do afterwards. I don't think the one that I had up there is finished, actually. If you notice the Hydra. I was just playing around with it, testing it. I didn't actually think I was going to find a password there. But yes, I am doing the Archangel Hack Me one. But I'm not finished. We have just started and got a bit of something. So we have a bit of it. We can continue that one. This room covered, if you don't have a suggestion for one. This room covered various protocols, their usage and how they work under the hood. 3 common attacks are sniffing attack, man-in-the-middle attack, password attack. For each of the above, we focused both on the attack details and the mitigation steps. Many other attacks can be conducted against specific servers and protocols. We will provide a list of some related modules. Vulnerability research, which I believe was in and then in Miss Spartanburg. We've done those. It's good to remember the default port number for common protocols. For convenience, the services we covered are listed in the following by alphabetical order. That's an odd way to list ports, right? Wouldn't you want them? I guess it's because the port numbers hops around. But we already checked we have all of these. So Hydra remains a very efficient tool. We can launch in terminal to get password. We summarize its main options in the following table. L username. P word list server. Oh well, I don't have to read this. Oops. Sorry